Welcome, beloved. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are at episode 10, right? And I know, again, there are other episodes. We did supplementary episodes and special episodes, but, in what we wanted to cover for Genesis, we wanted to do 10 episodes for the season. So we're at episode 10. Okay. And today we complete season 1 again by exploring Joseph's reconciliation with his brother, which is a profound teaching about unity, consciousness, and divine purpose fulfilled. Okay. It's about unity, consciousness, and divine purpose fulfillment. Okay. So today's episode is Joseph's reconciliation, unity, consciousness, and divine purpose. And as always, we want to make sure that we are in a safe container, that we are in sacred space. And how, we do that by centering ourselves. Okay. We center ourselves through deep breathing. All right. Do deep breathing. So take a deep breath in, feel your diaphragm, hold it, breathe out. We're breathing in positivity. We're breathing in good energy. Breathe in, hold it, breathe it out slowly. We're breathing out the things that no longer serve us. We're breathing out negativity. We're breathing out things that are destructive in our lives. One more time. Breathe in. Hold it. Breathe out slowly. So, as we've ending out Genesis, we've been talking about Jacob, who is now Israel. He's had 12 sons, and we talked about Joseph as a dreamer. He's gone from the pit to prison to the palace. What those dreams and how those dreams made his brothers feel more, they hated him more, has made his father feel like, hey, you're saying that your mother and father are going to have to bow down to you. We talked about the 12 brothers themselves as 12 attributes of consciousness. And now we have Joseph reconciling with his brother. Reconcile his brothers. So again, this is about Joseph's reconciliation, but it is unity, okay, and divine purpose. So we come to this time. It's been 22 years since Joseph has had those dreams, the dreams of the sheaves and the celestial bodies. And, now it's been 22 years and those dreams are fulfilled. Okay. Those dreams are fulfilled. And as always, everything has spiritual significance, right? We've talked about, earlier about the different ways that we read the Bible, and there is these different stages of literal, moral, allegorical, and spiritual. So we know that names are just not names, okay? Numbers are not just numbers. So 22 has been 22 years. And so the number 22 has several spiritual connotations, spiritual meanings. It means strength and resilience, strength, power and resilience. It just is a reminder that you have the ability to overcome challenges and transform them into opportunities for growth. Okay. 22 also means balance and harmony. It represents balance and harmony. It can encourage you to find equilibrium in your life. So anytime you're not at equilibrium, you're at dis-ease, and what happens is enters into your life. It also represents spiritual growth. The number 22 can be a sign to trust your intuition, as Joseph did. Trust your intuition and your inner wisdom. right? And it embraced that inner guidance, that God presence. It also represents leadership and service, And so we see that played out in Joseph's life, leadership. He was given leadership in Potiphar's house, and then, he's given a place of leadership in Pharaoh's house. Okay. And it also means turning dreams into reality, turning dreams into reality. The number 22 also means turning dreams into reality and duality. We see that play out here, that Joseph is not just his son to his father and brother to his brothers, but he's also their salvation. He's also their salvation. So, now it is 22 years. He reveals who he is, and he reconciles with his brothers. So this recognition moment is divine timing. It's perfect timing. It is kairos. It is God's timing. It's the sacred cycle complete. So, from the time that he tells the dreams and he goes through, these cycle of events, he's put into the pit. He goes into Potiphar's house. He is then put into prison, and, he ends up in Pharaoh's palace. A lot of P's, right? And then it is unity emerging, purpose manifesting and unity emerging. Even though there was this contention and hatred between his brothers, there is now unity. There is now unity. Okay. And, he has this emotional response. He has to really turn his face away from his brothers, especially when he sees this younger brother, Benjamin. He begins to weep. And, tears, are cathartic. They're cleansing. But Joseph's weeping represents divine love. It represents divine love expressing itself. And so it is this sacred, emotion. It's all these things that have gone and that he's encountered, that just happened in his life. And it comes out in this rush of emotion that is surprising. Okay. Especially from a human perspective, that, most people would probably, would have an emotion of hate. It comes out as emotion of love. It is his heart consciousness has opened up. It is his heart consciousness. We've heard people say, charge it to my head and not my heart. So it is his heart consciousness that is awakening. It's his heart consciousness that is awakening. And so now he recognizes them, and he reveals who he is. He says, I am Joseph. I am. Now, I want to put a pin here. So, I've said this, that we have the I am inside of. We are I am. In the beginning, when God, breathes the breath of life into us, when Source breathes and shares aspects and attributes of Source into us, it is in Hebrew called ruach, which means breath, and spirit also means wind. So, we share the I am. That's the difference between the great I am and I am. Okay. So he says, I am Joseph. This is divine. This is his divine identity. He reveals his divine identity. I am Joseph. And it's this sacred truth spoken. This is truth. It's just like we are I am, and we hold the divinity inside of us. And I know that goes against teaching, especially in the dogma of the church, and any of these religion, this formal religion that is looked at and frowned upon. But this is truth. This is sacred truth. Sacred truth. We are made in the image and likeness of Source. We're in the image and likeness of the divine. So now his purpose is understood through, the dreams and all the things that he's gone through. His purpose is now fully understood, not, just him, but also his family. Okay. And so now it's unity realized when, it was dysfunction, a real dysfunctional family. Okay. Disjointed. Okay. Dissension. It is now unity realized. Okay. Unity realized. So the reunion of the brothers, remember that these 12 brothers represents 12 attributes of consciousness. And so this union reveals purpose completion. Remember, these were all attributes of consciousness, levels of consciousness leading always to spiritual or through to enlightenment, spiritual achievement, through to enlightenment. It represents divine timing, again, sacred awakening, and unity consciousness. Unity consciousness. What this all represents, it represents unity consciousness, and the moment of recognition, right? The recognition, where it unfolds, the brothers bow, right? The brothers bow to him. This is dream fulfilled. Remember the sheaves, his brother's sheaves are bowing to his, right? The the celestial, the celestial objects, the celestial beings, right? Are bowing there. They're acquiescing, all right? So the brothers bow, which is dream fulfilled. Joseph weeps, which is divine emotion. And truth revealed is sacred understanding. Sacred understanding. And you remember, and also truth represents or sets you free, right? And as unity emerging unity is consciousness, is whole consciousness, right? It is whole consciousness. It's whole consciousness. Right. So now there is this reconciliation of wisdom also. This reconciliation of wisdom. He's had this wisdom, right? He's had this wisdom this whole time. Remember that the number 22 represents spiritual growth and balance and harmony. It is dream, turning dreams into reality, but there is also this recognizing through trusting your intuition and this inner wisdom. You embrace this guidance. So this is the reconciliation of wisdom as well. It's a higher view. It says God meant this for good. God meant it for good. What the devil and meant for evil, which means the enemy. With the enemy, right? The enemy more than likely, and more than usual, and most likely, we're talking about inner, right? The inner me. That is where the battle truly is. INNER. The inner us, the inner me, is where the battle really is, because that's where ego is trying to enforce itself. Okay. So what, the enemy or the enemy meant for harm, meant for evil, God or source meant for good. Okay. So this is, the divine purpose lens. It is now changing our point of view, changing our worldview, to understand that there is a higher view. Okay, this divine purpose land is sacred understanding and higher consciousness. Higher consciousness. Now, this unity of brothers, this unity of all these different attributes represents higher consciousness, right? Unity of wisdom, unity wisdom. So this higher view where God meant for good, right, is higher consciousness. Higher consciousness. It's also purpose recognition, recognizing and walking, truly walking in purpose. To save what? To save many alive. Saving many alive. And saving many alive, it shows collective benefit. That we, it is about the whole. It is about the benefit of the whole. And I know that through ego and through the world teaches, the survival of the fittest. The world teaches that, you pull yourself up by your bootstraps. It talks about basically, hey, I got mine, you get yours. But really, it is about, this higher consciousness, this really truly connecting to source. It is about collective benefit. Collective benefit. It is divine provision. Everything, there is provision and there is enough for everyone. This is really connecting to abundance mentality, right? But abundance, having abundance mentality. I'll say it again that the true fall, in the garden was to move from an abundance mentality, okay, an abundance view to one of lack. One of lack. So it is about the saving many alive. It represents, or it shows collective benefit, divine provision, sacred service. That we're not here to serve ourselves, to be self-serving. We are here to serve humanity, to serve the world, to bring our gifts into the universe. It's about sacred service and unity purpose. Unity purpose. Our purpose, right, and truly, our purpose should divine purpose serves other people. Okay, it serves more than yourself. My mentor used to say, if you help enough people get what they want, then you will truly get what you want. Okay, God meant it for good. God meant this for good. This is a higher understanding of and perspective. It's a change of perspective. The change of perspective is divine. It is a divine purview. It's a divine point of view. Okay, sacred timing and understanding. Again, this is not chronos. Chronos or chronological time. When we're, looking at calendars and we're checking our watches and, all those types of things like that, it is about it is sacred time. It is God's time. It is kairos. It is unity awareness and collective benefit. Unity awareness and collective. So now the family has been restored, right? The family has been restored. This is sacred healing. This restoration of family represents sacred healing. Sacred healing. This family restoration represents consciousness integration. Consciousness integration. Separate parts unite. Separate parts, the brothers, the father, they were, Joseph, they're not unified. So when they come back together, these are sacred parts reuniting. Sacred parts reuniting. This is divine wholeness achieved. This is achieving divine wholeness. All the attributes, right? All the attributes coming together and uniting. This is divine wholeness. This is the completion of sacred healing. The completion of sacred healing and manifested purpose. Manifested purpose. So, we know that there was a drought, and through this wisdom and this inner wisdom and Joseph trusting inner wisdom, there was surplus in Egypt because of him. And so therefore everyone had to come to him for grain. That's how he reunited with his brothers. So this provision consciousness, we have to maintain a consciousness of providing, having a provision consciousness. Joseph's care shows and represents divine abundance, sacred responsibility, unity expression, and love manifestation. His caring represents all of these attributes, all of these states of consciousness, divine abundance. Remember, I want you to remember that it is about, in order for us to really connect to source and be united, we must have an abundance mentality. An abundance mentality. There is more than enough. This consciousness, this having a lack consciousness or lack mentality leads to destruction. It leads to war. It leads to crime. Okay, and it leads to hatred. So we must maintain an abundance mentality. Okay, an abundance mentality. So now, as we move towards the end of Genesis and moving towards Exodus, there is a moment, right? There's a moment where Jacob blesses Joseph's sons. He blesses the sons. These represent the future, right? Future generation. So the children being blessed represents in a reveal continuing purpose. So as Joseph has fulfilled his purpose, it doesn't mean that everything has come to the end. Okay, so there is a continuation or a continuing purpose, represents sacred lineage, the expansion of unity expanding, and divine multiplication. Divine multiplication. That is how source works. That is how God increases, right? God increases by multiplication. He increases by, or it, I did it myself. Some things is hard to shake, but God, it, spirit, it consciousness, it source increases by multiplication. These future generation of the children also represents collective healing, purpose, fulfillment, divine provision, and sacred completion. The family healing represents collective consciousness, sacred wholeness, divine completion, and purpose fulfillment. Okay, so we always want to make sure that as we we reveal and unveil these spiritual meanings and these spiritual attributes and all this, we lift up divine consciousness in the scripture and these stories. We want to make sure that we provide some practical application. So how do we integrate these attributes and these different things and these lessons from the past into modernity, and integrate them into our modern lives? So we want to have this living unity, right? This unity consciousness, right, through a higher perspective. And remember, the higher perspective is always looking beyond ourselves. Looking to bless others, looking to to connect with others, and and in some way that we provide benefit. So we always want to have this higher perspective and have sacred forgiveness. Remember that Joseph very well could taken his revenge out on his brothers, really not forgiving them. Okay, but he chose to forgive. So we would maintain a level of sacred forgiveness, and always recognize the divine purpose. Recognize that there is a divine purpose in everything that we do. There is a divine purpose that we must fulfill in our lives, and it doesn't matter what happens to us, right? It doesn't matter what we go through, okay? Doesn't matter what our past is. Our past is not a true reflection of our future or our present, okay? And remember that, 22 represents strength, represents power and resilience, that we can overcome. We have the ability to overcome challenges and transform them into opportunities for growth. We must have a growth mentality. We must have a growth mentality. And it is always, if anything, whatever we encounter, whether it's dogma, whether it is, whatever it is we encounter in our lives that seeks to separate, right? We move away from. We move away from it. We must maintain. There must be some unity maintenance, right? We must always work. Okay, work on our unity muscle. Work on the things inside of us that bring us together. Okay, and so in daily practice, we want to continue to work with reconciliation. Work with reconciliation. Reconciling parts of ourselves, those things that we, about ourselves that we, have distanced ourselves from, those things that we need to work on, we need to reconcile with, we need to forgive, as well as, those outside of us. Okay. Always moving towards, reconciliation. So every morning, right, we want to activate this unity. We want to have morning unity activation, this consciousness, this unity consciousness. We want to activate it every day, seeking to forgive, maintaining a higher perspective, understanding that our purpose, is always, it involves serving others, helping others, okay? And then in the midday, we want to just, have a midday check our perspective, what are those things that, that we're doing that is causing us to not have this higher perspective, to not recognize how our purpose, or even have this abundance consciousness. And then we want to, before we go to bed, right? Before, I know that in the scriptures talk about not going, as far as spouses not going to bed, with any types of unforgiveness or hatred or whatever, anything that, any dissension. But you want to do that, period. Okay. Review. Okay. Review in the evening, where we are. If there's anybody that we need to forgive, or if there's any forgiveness that we still, unforgiveness we still harbor in our hearts. Okay. And now we align our purpose. We align our purpose. Align our purpose with what? With our divine purpose. It must be congruent. Okay. It must be congruent. If we want to be blessed, we want to, for these things to manifest, the things that are going to bless us, those things that are going to bring abundance into our lives, those things that are going to tie us into resources. It has to align with the divine purpose, the purpose that God has for us, the purpose that aligning with source energy. And those things always bring with them passion. Right? A burning passion. Okay. So now, as we close out this episode, right, we want to make sure that we close out, in remembering that, and feel this unity consciousness. Okay. Feel this unity consciousness. So we want to center ourselves, center our thoughts. Okay. I want you to picture right there in the pineal gland, in the third eye. I want you to picture this golden orb, okay, this golden light This golden light represents your divine purpose. This golden light represents your unity consciousness. This golden light represents your abundance mentality. Okay, breathe in. Breathe in all the things that are positive. Bring in all the things that unify us. Bring all the things that bring in love and forgiveness. Breathe out. Breathe in. Feel the unity consciousness. Feel the forgiveness growing inside of you. Feel your purpose coming into clarity. Breathe out. Breathe out negativity. Breathe out those things that separate us, that divide us. Breathe out those things, that keep us locked in and tied in to unforgiveness and hardness and lack. One more deep breath in. Breathe in unity. Breathe in forgiveness. Breathe in abundance. Breathe in love. Breathe out. All right. Okay, beloved, this ends episode 10. We're going to wrap up with another sort of a wrap-up episode before we move into season 2. So until we meet again, maintain your sacred space, maintain your unity awareness, your unity consciousness, your love and abundance, and your forgiveness. Okay, your forgiving heart. Until we meet again, peace and light.